There has been nothing more therapeutic for me in recent times than going on a walk without my phone. And think about that. Like, that's crazy for me to say, because I know you're watching this video and you're like, dude, like, what if something goes wrong? What if my mom needs me? What if this, with that? What I realize is, like, for me, I even turn my phone off at night. Like, I just turn it off because I don't want the distraction. And now if I have an alarm, like, maybe I'll leave it on. But when I don't have something early the next day, or when I want to wake up naturally, I literally don't even have my phone on. And I realized right then and there, that is the most freeing thing in the world. Because think about that. You're like on your walk, you have to bring your phone with you in case something goes wrong. And so in your brain, you don't even know it, but you're always thinking about, like, what if something goes wrong? I'm always going to be ready. And so for me, I realized, like, yes, there's probably like a 1%, 2% chance it could go wrong. But I'm looking at that like, okay, there is a 2% chance, but there's a 98% chance that nothing will go wrong and I'll be perfectly fine. So why might I not take this opportunity to literally just go on a walk with me and my thoughts and think about what I want to think about, the things I'm working on, what I want to do better, what I'm grateful for, what I'm proud of. Because how often, like, ask yourself this, how often do you actually have some alone time with you to just think without stimulus, without music, without your phone, without people? Like, how often do you have time to just think about yourself? And it started as like a super awkward process because I was like, okay, like, what do I even do? I'm on this walk like 30, 45 minutes without my phone. The only thing I have is my keys on me. I'm swinging my keys. Like, what do I do? And I realized, like, this is a beautiful opportunity to, like, think about what I want to think about. It's a really great chance to empty all my thoughts because our brains can only hold so much stuff. And so I feel like it's reasonable to think that sometimes you need time where your trash bin can be emptied. Because think about your brain as like a trash bin. I know that's like a weird scenario, but if your brain's a trash bin and you keep trying to shove more stuff into it, like, at a certain point, there's going to be no room for you to put anything into it, whether that's really good knowledge or like trash and junk that you're consuming on like TikTok and whatever. It's interesting because now those walks are probably my favorite part of my rest day routine. So for me right now, what I'm doing is I'm training 4 days a week, and on one rest day I'm going on a run. But on that other rest day, I don't do any strenuous activities except I go for like a 30, 45, even hour walk if I feel like it, without my phone. And that is literally some of the most happy times I experience throughout the week, because I'm literally thinking about all these interesting things, and it takes a while. Like, it doesn't usually happen 15 minutes in, 20 minutes in, but like 30, 45 in. Because you just start thinking what's building up in your brain, what you've been thinking about, the things you really want to work on. And I realized, like, it's probably the reason I'm so happy today is because I have that time, that alone time with just myself to really know who I am, what I'm working on, what I'm thinking about, all that great stuff. And it's so nice. And now when I go on my walk with a podcast, like, to mix it up if I want to, like, I actually really appreciate that time by myself a lot more. I encourage you to really try that, because you might be thinking, Alex, you're crazy. Like, what is this? Like, maybe if it's not safe, bro, just turn your phone off. You can still have your phone on you or whatever it may be, but just have, if you can, no phone on you, and just, like, give it a sec. And I promise you, it's gonna be the most amazing feeling. And it's so freeing because all day we have this thing on us and we don't realize it, but we're literally, like, programmed to, like, at every single spare moment check that something's, not wrong. Or even finding ourselves, like, on our phone. Like, I know you find yourself too, because I find myself too. Like, I'm on Instagram and like, yo, how did that even happen? Going on a walk without your phone. And the reason I think this is so good is because it's really been an outlet for me too. Now, I don't get depressed, but if I ever have any inner turmoil whatsoever and ever just need to get a breath of air, I just go on a walk. 9 out of 10 times when I come back from that walk, I just feel like fresh. I can get back into work, cook a meal, do whatever I want to do. And I was talking to my friend about that, and I'm like, it's crazy because I don't think anyone does this. I don't think anyone has just actual time to be, to think. Like, think about that. Back in the old days, like, we had a lot of time to think. Now you'd have your time with your family, you'd have meals and maybe like live music, but you got a lot more time to think. And so now we don't even have time to think. And so everything we see in this world thinks for us. We don't even know who we are because we can't even think for ourselves. We see that TikTok right when we wake up, we look at our phone, and then instantly that dictates how our morning is gonna be. And so I think it's super powerful to just take a step back from all this crazy stuff sometimes. Take a step back from all this crazy stuff happening, because we live in a world of abundance, and anything in abundance has no value. And you might be like, Alex, go deeper. Okay. Whoa. Basically, like, with your family, say you're spending a lot of time with your family. After a certain point, you want your own life. You want to get back on your own feet. And in that minute when you're back on your own feet, you're like, man, I miss my mom asking if I ate, miss my sister annoying me, my dad asking, or rather telling me these really annoying, stupid jokes. Anything in abundance has no value. And so I think just having that minute of fresh air, like, if you are struggling right now, because I've realized, for me, I've had like depression in the past, but focusing on things that only I can control. And number two, just realizing like if I've done my best, I can't be upset, because if I've done my best, like yes, you can be upset that it didn't go your way, but you were just being you, and you probably prepared the best you could for a situation. So give yourself a pat on the back and realize like life's not always going to go your way, and you're probably going to learn from that situation, because you don't always learn from the goods. You usually don't from the ups. But from the downs, like, let me tell you, you learn a lot. And more importantly, like, you realize, like, I'm not going to make that same mistake again. I just be finding myself on these walks, and I'm just, like, thinking, like, deeply. I think today on the walk, it was actually a really freeing moment, because I actually, like, emptied my brain so much that I actually just had no thoughts. Because I read The Power of Now a while back, and I encourage you, that's a really good book, a really good basic spiritual book for anyone trying to, you know, just start their spiritual journey, just being happier, just being more present with, like, life. One thing that Eckhart Tolle talks about is, like, how often can you just think without thinking? Like, how often can you just be in your brain, be so present that there's no intrusive thoughts, there's nothing happening up here? Because for most of us, it's like a crazy New York City rush hour at Times Square. So many variables, so much time moving on. And that can be because you're on your phone, and then you're on your phone, you're on Instagram too, and then you're listening to music, and your friend is talking to you. Like, we live in a world of such stimulus that I think it's a really big cheat code of life to do the simple things. For me, that means most of the time, and again, like, I'm not perfect, I'm an open book, like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys on the channel. For me, 8 out of 10 meals, I say that's a good number, I'm literally not even on my phone. And when I tell you, like, the food tastes better, it tastes better because, like, that's all I'm focused on. I'm like, how cool is this? I live in a world where I can have pasture raised, you know, eggs with some really good quality beef with some orange juice that tastes like God's, like, nectar. Like, all this cool stuff happening. But when you're always focusing, always being hyper stimulated, you don't even appreciate those little things. All these, like, little things I have such an appreciation for today. And I know this video started as, like, going a walk without your phone, but, like, I feel like we're just flowing right now, so we'll keep it going. Like, just the little things, like the sun shining. Like, I'm realizing, like, as I'm walking today with the sun on my back, no shirt, just absorbing that sunlight, I'm just like, how cool is this? I'm living in Miami, Florida, 80 degrees, the sun is shining, I feel good, my body feels good, I have good health. Like, how cool is all this stuff happening? And so, yeah, just going back to that, like, how often can you just think and not have thoughts? Because once your brain is clear, let me tell you this, a calm mind is a happy mind. Because think about this, if you were to envision a really, not just like a happy person, but also a really smart person, because if you think about like a Confucius, a Lao Tzu, Marcus Aurelius, a philosopher, you wouldn't think that they'd be this hyper-stimulated, like super loud, obnoxious person. They'd probably be like really calm and just like talking to you in a very smart, concise, and sophisticated manner, because their brain is calm so they can clearly think. And I think that's the big thing with those walks. It allows you to really clearly think. And again, like, it probably does sound really weird, bro. I know you're watching this video and you're like, Alex, like, this sounds kind of weird. And I know it does, but you gotta try it to believe it. I would say try 3 walks, like 20 to 30 minutes to start, without your phone, and just be present. Just enjoy it and literally see where your mind goes. Because when you allow yourself to have no stimulus, like if you're walking on a trail, like I'm walking just through a neighborhood, yes, you have your houses and your birds chirping and like people walking by, but like you literally don't have a stimulus, so your brain is just gonna think, and you're gonna kind of digest all these like mental emails in your brain until your inbox is 0, and then you're just clearly thinking and you're hyper present, and you can focus on the micro things like you could never do before. And I think you also have just a much more sense of like being focused, because I think in this world you have all these like micro distractions. Like if you're on YouTube, you see those comments. If you're on TikTok, your friend texts you, that's like another micro distraction. And like there's all these distractions in the world, and when you can just be present, you'll realize those things too, and you'll realize how much more distracted you are than you really think. And it's not like those things are gonna add individually being a lot, but adding those up cumulatively, like the stack of distractions that every single day you're going through, it's probably a lot, and it's probably allowing you to not get done what you want to do and not keep your foot on the gas and your pedal down like I know you want, bro. Because I know if you're watching this video right now, you're probably like me and you want more in a life. You want to be able to supply for your family. You want to be able to make a lot of money and be financially free and do these really amazing things in the world today. And so it all goes down to go on a walk without your phone, and trust me, because it is going to blow your mind. I thought the same thing too, but I tried it once, and now I literally 9 out of 10 walks don't even go with my phone. It's the little things in life. And you know, it's weird to say, but like when people are mostly doing one thing, a lot of times I just like, you know what, I'm gonna do the other, because most people aren't doing the things that I want to do, and most people, quite frankly, they're not happy. And so don't be afraid to do something different, because at the end of the day, like, different does not mean incorrect. It's just another approach.